Chicos, chicas, ¿cómo estáis? ¿Qué os cuenta la vida? Aquí en pie, nuevo video para el canal. Entonces estamos en otro episodio más de Genshin Impact. Como en el episodio anterior, hemos aprendido un poquito más de lore de nuestro queridísimo amigo Ryo Risley, como sea que ustedes le digan. Y el caso es que porque para entrar este pana es lo máximo. Porque no solamente sabe un poquito más de lo que es el tema de el área perdida, bueno, el área prohibida que tiene acá la Fortaleza Meropide, donde hemos estado básicamente, que es básicamente una zona de seguridad. Por lo que parece, el fuerte Meropide es el último bastión en lo que respecta a la profecía que tiene Fontaine, de que en algún punto, pues todo este lugar se va a inundar. Y como me refiero a todo el lugar, me refiero a todo Fontaine, todo el continente, todo el país, toda la nación, toda la ciudad. Y el caso es que Ryo sabe de que este fuerte es la última esperanza en lo que respecta el tema este de la seguridad de esta nación. Y por ese motivo, no solamente él está preocupado, consternado por lo que está sucediendo actualmente con el Fuerte Meropide, y mandó a, justamente, bueno, dejó de que investiguemos, que Laina investigue, que Lainette investigue, y que Lainette investigue todo lo que sepan acerca del área prohibida. Y pues, por lo que parece, no solamente él está preocupado por eso, sino también es que hay algo, un plan de reserva. Hay un punto de transporte ahí. Ah, el pana Ryo ha tenido un plan de reserva para poder crear una suerte de arca. Este pana de aquí quiere ser el próximo Noah. Y me estoy refiriendo a Noah, el personaje de Xenoblade Chronicles, no a Noah, la promoción de lucha libre que tiene a Goshi Ozaki, ¿ok? Bueno, el caso es que este güey quiere saber, bueno, como se ha escuchado una profecía que tiene nombre de personajes romanos y griegos, pues ha quedado con la idea y dijo, hey, no está nada mal el poder hacer un barquito y tratar de salvar a todas las personas posibles. Lo cual a este personaje es uno de mis favoritos personales. Sé que tiene algunas cosas que a algunas personas no les gustará, como el hecho de que, no sé, ¿por qué no te agradaría Ryo? Porque este pana te hace golpes bien chidos. Y su voz en japonés es literal el fucking Yotaro. Como sea. Gustos, colores y todo lo demás. La cosa es que tenemos que volver a la enfermería porque tenemos que comunicarle, supongo que a Laine y a Lainette de lo que hemos averiguado y porque es nuestra elección decirle todo lo que tenemos que decirles o algo parecido. Algo así tenemos que hacer en esa parte del guión. Como que no me terminé de convencer, pero hay que seguirlo a la pie de la letra, I guess.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
Ya he tomado bastante, no te preocupes.
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, while I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves, to the water, and even the teacups themselves.
Wow, Ryo es todo un profesional en eso del té, yo solo soy un novato.
Must have been Risley and Seishween.
Me pregunto si es que Ryo le gustará el mate argentino, porque el mate asumo que es un tipo de té, pero es un tipo de té tan bueno de que sobrepasa toda la tier list de lo que es el té. O sea, ya entra a su propia categoría.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
Yo he probado el mate de coca en el pasado, pero no era mate de coca argentino original, no, era uno de bolsita, de esos instantáneos.
I really can't make sense of this place.
Tranquilo, Fremine, de ahí te explico un poco.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations?
Por lo que veo, ya te has recuperado.
Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Vaya desgracia.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sejuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Meropide.
Estás en lo correcto.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why?
Porque son terrucos.
I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Meropide is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land.
Virtue's crown, king of nothing.
As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest.
Ya, pero sí, supuestamente no hay jurisdicción por parte de Fontaine, donde está la Fortaleza Meropide. ¿Cómo chuchas Numirete se enteró de que Childe ya no está acá? Si en teoría no tendría que tener información alguna sobre este lugar, you know?
If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
El sensor de agua primigenia, claro.
You're super smart.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Wriothesley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly.
Si es que a padre le importa de verdad la salud de la gente de Fontaine. Todavía eso no está quedando claro, por lo menos en esta parte de la historia.
I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
Tras cavilarlo le cuentas a Lane lo que te contó Wriothesley. También haces hincapié en la catástrofe que es la oficina y en qué momento puedes haber enfrentamientos.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Tic-tac, Lainete. Tic-tac.
Could Wriothesley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Wriothesley have known that?
Lo más probable, Ryo no lo sepa, pero él simplemente quiere tener a alguien poderoso a su lado y probablemente haya visto en Arle la posibilidad de hacer una alianza al respecto por el tema de que la casa de, la House of Hoguera sea una entidad tan fuerte y tan temida, asumo, en la comuna de Fontaine.
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Estás en lo correcto, Lainete.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side.
Eso es lo que me cuesta aceptar.
The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
La verdad es que prefiero confiar más en House of Black, aunque ellos hayan tenido un pésimo reinado como campeones de tercias. De hecho, diría que con ellos toda la división se fue al carajo.
You have my gratitude.
Tú sí me caes bien, Revinet. Contigo no hay problema.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
No hay de qué. Oh, genial.
Paimon's hungry.
Como de costumbre.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
Bien, ya le contamos todo lo que teníamos que contar a ellos, güeyes, y pues vamos a ir al comedor, donde estoy 100% seguro que absolutamente nada malo va a suceder.
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served at the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler and Paimon, over here.
¿Qué sucede?
Are you here for dinner too, opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well.
Por favor, que no sea esa carne mala.
Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria.
No, Sherlock.
What would you like to eat?
¿Tienen honey mustard?
Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Entonces, un honey mustard de esos que preparan en la Católica.
Me too. Don't forget Paimon. No problem. Just leave it to me.
Ya la comida que pide Sigwin, esta vez no depende de la suerte y la comida entera es un manjar. También reciben unos batidos de extraño sabor, pero buenos para la salud. Dicen que a Luke le gustan mucho, pero ustedes no se terminan de creer. Porque tienen un sabor terrible, al menos se sirven para relajarse.
So delicious.
Ay, qué tiempos cuando creíamos que Rayo Tesla era algo colorblind y simplemente no podía identificar el batido del té, pero no, en realidad estaba evitando el batido. La comida sabe aún mejor cuando es gratis.
Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Wait a second, we did do plenty of work after all.
Sí, esta vez yo me he desahuevado. Desde que obtuve Rayo Tesla y me he desahuevado con mi proyecto de diseño mecatrónico, con los proyectos que tengo en la universidad y ahora estoy avanzando, vamos a ser contrarrabillosos más cuando acabe de terminar eso voy a tener que diseñar una fucking órtesis con un potenciómetro ahí para medir ángulo. No, sensor de ángulo, lo que sea que tengamos que usar.
Feeling full
Osciloscopio, ahí está,
yet? How's the
osciloscopio.
food? Delicious.
Todo estaba muy... exceptuando la de... ¿Qué iba a decir? Todo estaba fantástico, ya.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment. Sigewin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister.
Es la fundación de esta fortaleza, básicamente.
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear. Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well? Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water.
Claro, es lo que hasta ahora no me cuadra. Porque si recordamos bien, todo güey que venga de Fontaine y entre en contacto con el agua primigenia se diluye. Y al parecer a Ferminet no le ha sucedido eso. Pero claro, puede ser eso porque esa agua primigenia no era pura agua primigenia, estaba mezclada con agua de mar.
Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Clorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't
Ah, lo
allow
dijo.
him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought everything through. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader.
O sea, tú estuviste aquí antes de que existiese el Rayo Tesla y por acá y asumiera el mando de la prisión.
Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervila would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos.
Newbie en su fase emo. Hagan un fanart de eso, por favor. Háganlo como si fuera un fan de Pandax o como sea que se llame esa banda mexicana que hasta ahora no escucho. Ah, no entiendo eso último. Nibilete es más de trabajar en una oficina.
Get a good night's rest, you two.
Sí.
You both worked very hard.
Eider, Newbie es emo de closet. Él se escucha música de Libido antes de dormir. Aunque al Libido no le considero como una banda emo. Capaz esto... ¿cómo se llama? My Chemical Romance. Ya. My Chemical Romance, Newbilete, fan de esa banda, se emocionó bastante cuando sacaron su nueva canción, que no me acuerdo bien en su nombre, pero es un temazo, por lo que recuerdo. Volvamos a la área de descanso, en todo caso, para descansar. Estaba viendo si es que estaba la navegación activada. Ok, de hecho quiero ver cuánto tiempo llevo grabando, porque tampoco es que quiero que... puedo continuar, puedo continuar. No es que vaya a ir allá arriba y vaya a dejar el video hasta acá. No, 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 que todavía nos queda mucho por hacer.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed.
Al fin entiendo mis padres.
Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Un poco, pero puedo aguantar. Igual, como dije, tengo que hacer una prótesis después de esto. Y se durmió. En un segundo. Es un caso total.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Buenas noches.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running?
No me jodas
No
que...
idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Suena a temblores. ¿Hemos despertado en Chile? ¿Qué es ese sonido? ¿Hemos despertado en Chile? Paimon, despierta. Tenemos que ir a ver qué pasa. En nada estaba como sonando como si toda la cosa estaba temblando. Por lo menos a mí me parecía. Salgamos para investigar en todo caso.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
¿Tenemos cupones para preguntar?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! Yeah, there you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
We still in Lavaroon. Do you know what happened here?
¿Me pueden explicar por qué chucha de repente estamos en Islandia?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here.
¿Hacia el exterior? Oh no.
Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do a head count that one or two people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us.
Ya, pero Rayo dijo hacia afuera, ¿no?
Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Todo este problema está en los niveles inferiores y en el piso más bajo está esa esclusa.
Oh no, it can't be that thing.
Tiene que
wait,
serlo.
What? What? Hey, where are you going?
Ustedes adelántense, yo voy a tratar de solucionar qué está pasando, ¿ok? No se preocupen por mí, tengo plot armor.
You two just go and get out. Go on without us.
Tengo plot armor, ustedes sálvense. Ustedes tienen familia, yo no tanto.
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention, please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards.
Tamare,
If
¿dónde
you're
chucha está la
already
puerta? ¿Dónde está la puerta?
then try to move as far outwards as possible.
¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Dónde? Ay, tamare, escalera, escalera. ¿Dónde hay escalera por acá? ¿Dónde hay?
Please evacuate
No, abajo, abajo, ya, ya.
upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Tamare, esta puerta no sirve. Tamare, miércoles. Acá. No, aquí no.
Upwards and outwards. If you're already
Ya, aquí es.
then try to move as far outwards as possible.
¡Rayo! A verdad que Rayo debe estar afuera con el resto en su arca. Fuck. Ok, tenemos que ir al área prohibida. Tenemos que ver si es que la esclusa está bien. Estamos bien, estoy 100% seguro de todo esto. Porque al fin y al cabo tenemos plot armor. Nada nos puede pasar. ¿Cloinde? Ay, chucha, están acá.
They're here.
Just like I said.
¿Cómo que qué pasa? Estamos por inundarnos.
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Cuidado, Rayo. Buena esa, Rayo. Los Senge. ¡Viene más agua! Sonic de Hedgehog.
3, 2, 1.
Buenísima.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense.
Rápido, hay que ir a hablar con Niwi.
The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Newbie.
I need you to head to the Opera House immediately.
No tengo tiempo para esas cojureces.
Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Hacemos cambiazo entonces, pero tengo algo importante que decirte en este preciso instante. Necesitamos tu ayuda urgente, hijo de...
Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Ve a la ópera. Vale, entonces el cambiazo está hecho. Neuvillette va a ir por allá y nosotros tenemos que ayudar a Farina a que sobreviva unos 20-25 minutos contra Arlequino. Ok, ese es el plan. Lo tengo claro, oscuro y todas las sombras de colores de más. Así que en ese caso, la mejor acción para poder salvar a Farina es solamente de una u otra manera. Carajo.
Look, there are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry. Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
A veces me molesta el rango en el que se activa una misión que quieres hacer o que tienes que continuar. Porque después esta clase de cosas suceden y como que arruinan todos tus planes. Anyway. Vayamos adentro a mediar la reunión con todo lo que sepamos.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Un gusto conocerla, Arlenagia.
Of course, of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
El placer de conocerte es mío, Arlenagia. He oído bastantes cosas acerca sobre ti. Este es Arlequino, la líder de la House of Oquera. y padre de Elaine y sus hermanos. Desde luego, parece muy fuerte. El placer es mío.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Y pensaba que los panqueques que venden en donde se desarrolla la historia de Pro de Sekai eran tan valiosos. Parece relativamente amigable, pero esto no será fácil. No puedo subestimar a Arlequino. Debo ser muy cuidadoso.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
Está buena.
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I.
Que yo soy más escéptico, ¿qué puedo decir? Pero, ¿por qué razón Tarcletas diría eso?
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Confío en sus habilidades. Tarcletas es el Ginger más habilidoso que he tenido el placer de conocer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Sí, ¿has oído hablar del equipo de Tarcletas nacional? Pucha, weón, que esa vaina está cada vez más infravalorada, cada vez menos usada, pero sigue teniendo la misma potencia que tenía desde inicios del juego. Quiero decir, sí, es bastante habilidoso, escucha su mente. Reina parece un poco nerviosa, como si hubiera algún problema entre ella y Arlenagia.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette.
Disculpe la interrupción, pero he averiguado cierta información sobre el paradero de Nubile.
Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
3 semanas, 9 días, por lo menos dentro del juego, ¿verdad?
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Meropide.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
Paimon, ¿para qué chucha hablas?
The Fortress of Meropide lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely?
No. Pero no hay nada que indique que le haya pasado algo mal.
Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf.
Shout out to Anthony La Pera Pérez.
Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house. Is it something like that?
No dejaré meter presión al orijo. No sé si podré convencerla, pero al menos puedo hacer que la presión la dirija hacia mí en vez de hacia Purina. Muy similar como lo haría Nobile.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
La inundación.
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Come on, newbie.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Dos cosas importantes. Primero, Ray Chase es el GOAT de el doblaje anglosajón. No aceptaré otra realidad. Y número dos, ese wow de Rayo es exactamente yo cuando veo una lucha que me encanta. ¿Qué me encanta? Me encanta jugar esta clase de juegos. Me encanta jugar esta clase de juegos.
Let me guess, we're safe for now.
Por ahora.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Si quieres yo se lo pago, Clorinda.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
Código legal, ¿qué chucha es eso? Conjunto unitario, ordenado y sistemizado alrededor normas, principios jurídicos surgidos por el movimiento codificador. Las compilaciones de los cuerpos legales más antiguos conocidos son tablillas arcaicas ciudad de Ebla, fragmentos existentes, bla 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 bla. ¿Le vas a regalar una fucking ley?
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
What?
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
No, aquí todo se rige bajo un código llamado el código Rayo.
That was obviously a joke.
Es el newbie.
Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
Nos está viendo recontra bien, Newbie, no te preocupes. Que soy ingeniero, ya estoy acostumbrado a la presión.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And
What are you trying to say?
at this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
Fine speech.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me.
Disculpe, no me sale bien la risa malvada.
Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Bueno, se está comportando de manera distinta. Está disputando lo que dice Arlequino con mucha seriedad. No está actuando. Esta vez va en serio.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
And she's done. Arlequino acaba de hacerle una promo de esas que te destruyen, típicas de John Cena luego del 2015. ¿Era mentira? ¿O es que no puede decirlo? ¿Por qué se armó de valor y de repente ha perdido la confianza?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
Vamos, Purina. Dile que por lo menos tienes un botón de emergencia.
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Eso está penalizado en las normas CISO, tengo entendido. Si es que no tienes justo una manera para detener el sistema o un sistema de apagar o en caso de emergencia. Por lo menos es lo que a mí me enseñaron en la carrera de ingeniería mecatrónica.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
Indemnitium. ¿Es un equivalente del vibranium?
The oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
El té que estaba temblando.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Oh boy, cuando Charlotte se encuentre cara a cara con Arlenagia.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone.
Muchísimas gracias. No pude intervenir en ningún momento. Ni siquiera sé qué es lo que fue a hacer Neuvillette. ¿Cómo que no? A ver, tú estás igual de pendejo que Furina, ¿verdad? Sabemos de que Neuvillette se ha ido abajo a tratar de evitar que se cumpla la profecía y el agua primordial subiera y nos inundara a todos. Aunque claro, tendría sentido desde un punto lógico, porque o sea, yo he visto ahorita, hace poco, lo que ha sucedido mientras estábamos hablando con Arlenagia, pero aún así Aether seguía acá, seguía viendo la conversación que estaba teniendo Arlenagia y Furina. Pero en todo caso también pude haber deducido para qué chucha Neuvillette quiso hacer el cambio, porque nosotros nos dirigimos a avisarle a Neuvillette de que Rayo y Cloinde estaban en aprietos. Y aún así, Newbie nos dijo, hagamos un cambiazo, yo me voy para abajo, ustedes vayan para arriba. O sea, Newbie sabe, pero nosotros no sabemos. ¿En qué momento no has podido deducir lo que está sucediendo? Supongo que fue al fuerte medio para encararse el problema del mar primigenio, pero de verdad se capaz de... estás durando de Newbie. Estás durando de Newbie. Newbie es Newbie. Newbie tiene la fortaleza de un Brock Lesnar. O sea, entiendo que seas medio ateo y que yo sea católico, pero aún así... Estamos en un mundo de fantasía. Obviamente, sí, ya por si estamos vivos. Estamos vivos y el té no está temblando. Eso es evidencia suficiente para demostrar que Newbie ha logrado hacer su cometido y detuvo la fundación. No sé para qué chucha sigues durando. Y Furina, ¿he dicho la verdad o no? No puedo responder esta pregunta todavía, Aether. Sí te puedo confirmar. Es que tengamos que hacer más adelante. Va a marcar un antes y un después de mi vida.
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer.
Igualmente, hace poco perdí un montón de minerales y necesito azúcares en mi sistema. Arlequino empieza a hablar de cosas más relajadas, pero siguen sintiendo la presión de antes.
Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Igualmente.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
No hay problema.
Paimon's coming too!
Sé lo que te va a pasar a ti. Sé lo que me va a pasar a mí. Yo me conozco mejor que nadie en este planeta. Sé que lo que sea que vaya a suceder de acá a unos semanas, meses, dependiendo de cuándo termine publicando esa tanda de videos, va a cambiarme a mí como persona más de lo que me ha cambiado todo por lo que he pasado. Hasta ya tengo planes para hablar sobre lo que vaya a suceder con el psicólogo, que toca un tema bastante fuerte para mí. Ya lo dijo antes Héctor Lavoe, el cantante. Todo tiene su final. Nada aquí es para siempre. Sin embargo, lo que no mencionó el cantante es que uno puede continuar. ¿No va a ser lo mismo? Obvio, no va a ser lo mismo. Cada uno decide vivir como se le da la maldita gana. Cada uno tiene su orden para hacer las cosas. Cada uno juega cuando se le da la maldita gana. Y no por eso su historia tiene menor peso que otros. Es todo lo que tengo que decirte a ti, Furina. Todo lo que representas, todo lo que no representas. Por lo menos hasta este punto. Te voy a dar una última oportunidad. Veamos si de verdad quieres ser salvada. Asumo que este es un no por respuesta. ¿Está bien? Lo haremos de esa manera entonces. Adiós, Furina. Será en otra ocasión.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
Ya me lo imaginaba.
That's what Paimon thought.
¿Algo importante que quieras decirnos?
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude.
De nada. ¿Algo más?
That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings.
Por fin alguien que lo entiende.
I know you just returned from the Fortress of Meropide. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me.
¿Ven? ¿Ven por qué le dije eso de que se quedaría sin familia, como un romano sin reino, como un jefe sin una tribu?
By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina?
Me imagino tanto la muerte que se siente más como un recuerdo. ¿Es aquí donde me lleva? ¿De pie? ¿Varios pies delante de ti? Es que ya lo veo venir. ¿Huyo, doy mi deseo o la dejo existir? Es que no hay ritmo. No hay melodía. Aerer, mi primer amigo, mi enemigo. Tal vez la última cara que vea, si es que tiro mi pool. ¿Es así como me recordarás? ¿Y si esta pool es mi legado? ¡Legado! ¿Qué es un legado? Es plantar semillas en un jardín que nunca llegarás a ver. Escribí algunos guiones al principio de una canción que alguien cantaba para mí. ¡Oh, Fontaine! Gran sinfonía inacabada, me habéis llamado. Me dejas hacerle diferencia en un lugar donde incluso los asesinos huérfanos pueden dejar sus pasados criminales y reírse. Se me acaba el tiempo, estoy hablando y se me acaba el tiempo. Siente, oye, veo el otro lugar. Mi padre dirige un coro de alumnos en el otro lugar. Mi abuelo está en el otro lugar. Él está junto con mi abuela en otro lugar. Mi perro Toby está ladrando desde el otro lugar. Enséñame a decir adiós. Resiste, resiste, resiste. Furina. Mi arconte, tómate tu tiempo. Te veré del otro lugar. Levante una copa por la libertad.
You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the fortress of Meropide.
Típico de Tracoetas.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused?
Tarcletas, ¿qué esperabas de él?
Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh, come over here, you little critter, you.
I mean, no la culpo, yo también me comporto así cuando veo un gatito abandonado en la calle. Pochito. Gato.
You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Cariberto.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me. I'm begging you, please.
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone.
Error de Furina. Debió haberlo contado con las autoridades en todo caso. A menos que ella ya supiera de la existencia de los Fatui.
Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article.
Es lo... Justo en esta parte, si mi perro se pone a ladrar, disculpen por eso. Igual que el resto de la comunidad de Genshin Impact, que llevan desde hace tiempo pidiendo desesperadamente que hubiera un arconte bait. Y... no sé si luego de esta historia van a dejar de pedir eso. Porque en teoría ya lo tenemos, pero al mismo tiempo no de la manera en como la comunidad lo quería.
I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please...
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Writhsley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meropide will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
Tengo mis dudas todavía, pero ellos han deducido correctamente todo lo que he averiguado también.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Correcto.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either.
¿Cómo estás tan segura?
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon.
Elite factor, ¿verdad?
Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves.
Como cualquier otra nación, al fin y al cabo. Gente de Perú, Chile, Argentina, Colombia, Ecuador. Todos estamos en el mismo barco. Solo dependemos de nosotros para salir adelante.
Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you.
Espero que eso sea cierto y no se quede en palabras.
You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course.
Claro.
I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve. And as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday.
Hey, yo, newbie!
He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
¿Cómo te fue, ah?
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur.
Les daré 3 semanas en tiempo de lo que voy grabando. Que tengo que editar un montón de cosas. Y no sé la verdad si es que pueda lograr hacerlo todo a fin de año.
Thank you for protecting Farina.
¿Cómo fue ahí abajo? ¿Rayo está bien? Clorinda está bien. ¿Los prisioneros de ahí abajo están bien?
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate.
Pues en nuestro caso... Le cuentan que Neuvillette lo ocurrió durante la hora del té.
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
¿Puedo hacerte unas preguntas?
Permission granted.
¿Tal es su poder que pudo hacer retroceder el agua del mar primigenio?
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
Son franceses, ¿qué esperabas?
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
¿Protegió a quienes lo necesitaban en el fuerte Meropide?
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Hacía un día radiante y de repente se ha nublado. La lluvia ha cobrado fuerza y de lloviznar ha pasado a llover cántaros. Junto antes de llover, Neuvillette dijo que se sentía apenado. Aquella canción, lo que dijo Ferminet. En Fontaine había un rey dragón, acuático, y cada vez que lloraba, se ponía a llover. Tú eres el dragón Hydro, ¿no?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking?
Que Newbie es el rey dragón del agua.
The dragon of... what?
Por favor, banner de Songli con Neuvillette. Siguiente año es el año del dragón. You have to do it.
Please do not be so surprised.
Descuida, Newbie, eso ya lo sabía como hace unos 2 meses atrás.
Farina?
Neuvillette, are you listening?
My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right?
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Descuida, nadie más lo sabrá. Procede a poner un montón de tweets y retuitear las teorías que decían que Newbie era el dragón de agua.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret.
Yeah.
There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood.
Les falta su piedrita, Su piedrita dragón que los convierte en dragones reales.
They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
O sea que esta tierra antes estaba gobernada por dragones, así como los dinosaurios en la vida real.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
Y esos son Divalin, Azdaha, el dragón serpiente que está muerto y está justamente en una de las islas que hay en Azuma, que no me acuerdo su nombre, pero sé que ahí llueve a cada rato. No me acuerdo bien el nombre del bosque que corresponde a Sumeru, pero me acuerdo de que me enfrentaron en unos 3-4 veces desde que inició esta actualización. Y Newbie. Faltan otros 2 dragones, que descubriremos supongo más adelante.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history.
¿Sucesor por decreto o sucesor por sangre? Eso es lo que me pregunto ahorita.
In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Dejaremos eso como un recurso último, ¿te parece?
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortaleza Meropide? Paimon is a little worried.
Nos vemos luego, Newbie. Ya veremos cómo lo haremos con el tema de la profecía más adelante. Que estoy seguro que va a dejar un montón de secuelas para ambos involucrados acá.
We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Paimon's in a really great mood today. I don't know why, but Paimon's head is filled with happy thoughts. Why don't we make the most of it? Let's take a walk around Fontaine and maybe buy some souvenirs and grab a tasty snack.
Quiero ver si es que aún seguimos en el capítulo 3 o estamos en el capítulo 4. Sí. Ya estamos por el capítulo 4, el acto 4. He oído No, espera. O sea, todavía no acabamos el acto 4. Vale, lo tengo claro. Porque lo que sigue es el capítulo 5. Ese está 100% ligado a todo lo que ha dicho Newbie antes. Así que voy a dejar el video hasta acá. Espero que os haya gustado. Voy a reclamar mis weas de pericia. Que tal parece que no podré reclamarlas con el evento que se está haciendo último. Por lo que parece encargos. Me llevo todo esto. Que hace falta protogemas ahora. Y nada más que decir. Si os ha gustado pueden darle like. Compartirlo si eres Sims de Clorin, de Ryan, Newbie, Furina, Arlequino. No me interesa. Estamos por llegar a la final de la parte 4 de esta aventura, de esta misión de Arconte. Tomamos un descanso después de eso. Y quién sabe qué nos separará en el futuro. No sé si es que esto me alcanzará para publicarlo para fines de año. O si es que lo tendré que publicar el año siguiente. Pero lo que estoy seguro es que va a haber un yo antes y después del acto 5. Eso voy a estar advirtiendo desde ya porque menos man esa misión es recontra fuerte. Así que, mientras tanto, disfrutar un poco de la paz, disfrutar un poco del vampiro de antes, porque queda poco tiempo para que ese vampiro se vaya y para bien del resto de personas. Así que, nada más que decir, hasta aquí Vampire, nos vemos en el siguiente video.